It's not working. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another 30-minute mini training where we will teach you how to build a talk-aboutable brand and create a simple marketing strategy so that you can get noticed in a noisy digital world. I'm your host, Angela, and joining me is Jennifer. Today, you'll learn how you can effectively nurture your leads so you can stay top of mind, because most visitors that visit your website, they're not really ready to buy right at that moment that they find you. So how do you build trust, create value, and stay top of mind so that you are remembered when they are indeed ready to buy from you? So we are discussing this in part 4 of this 4-part series. So this is the last one. You can catch the other 3 on our website at coalitionwebdesign.com in the Learn section. We also have a workbook that we will be digitally emailing to you after the presentation today. So you can register for that again at that same link there at coalitionwebdesign.com in the Learn tab. So please feel free to drop your questions in the comments, and we would be happy to answer them at the end of the presentation today. And also, if you have a big realization or an aha moment that we give you here today, just feel free to type, hashtag aha in the chat box there and let us know what it was, and let the group know, because we always are interested in seeing how this is helping you, and just knowing how we're doing, and if this is creating value for you in your life. So let's get started. I guess we got 30 minutes here.
All right. So we're going to start out. So this presentation is talking about lead nurturing. And if you're not familiar with that term, I'm going to talk to you about what that is. But the idea behind it starts out with understanding that when people come to your website, they are likely not ready to buy immediately. In fact, there's a statistic, there's been some research done on this, that 97% of people who come to your website the first time do not buy. And that doesn't mean they're not interested. It doesn't mean that they might not buy in the future, but they didn't buy that day. And so if you're spending money on advertising, or you're putting any kind of work into SEO or any other ways to get people to your website, you want to make sure that you find a way to capture those leads so that you can continue to build a relationship with them and provide value to them over time, so that when they are ready to buy, they don't forget about you. So the idea behind that is lead nurturing. So in part 1 of this series on converting your website into your unpaid salesperson, we talk about how to create what we call transitional calls to action. So a direct call to action, there's 2 different kinds, and I'll briefly go over this. A direct call to action is asking someone to make a purchase or schedule a consultation. It's very much a transactional kind of thing. It's very direct. But there's also the transitional call to action. I think Gizmo has something to say about this.
Yeah, I know. He won't be quiet today. Sorry, guys.
So a transitional call to action is where somebody is willing to give you their email address in exchange for something. So in order for them to do that, they don't want spam in their email inbox. So in order for them to do that, it has to be something of value. So if you are a service provider, which the majority of the people that we work with are service providers of some sort, you can create some kind of educational content. It could be like a downloadable PDF or a mini course or a webinar or something like that, where they're willing to give you their email address in exchange for some kind of educational, valuable content. So typically, lead nurturing is done through email marketing. And the goal is to provide value to your leads so that you stay top of mind when they're ready to buy. But I don't want to spam my contacts. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this from clients over the years. Small businesses are so afraid of spamming their contacts. And I can totally understand that. We all get a lot of emails all the time. We're always trying to figure out how to, manage our email accounts. So I get where people are coming from. But we're not talking about spam when we're talking about nurturing. We're not talking about a company newsletter. We're talking about providing value. There's a huge difference. If your audience loves your brand and is willing to give you their email address in exchange for something of value, they expect you to show up in their email inbox. It's just built into the way that we do things now. So don't be afraid. And don't be afraid of the unsubscribe button. That's another fear that small businesses have is, oh, someone unsubscribed. It's okay. They just weren't the right client for you. And, there's no brand out there that is right for everyone. Every brand deals with unsubscribes. It's okay. Don't be afraid of it. It just means that they weren't interested, they found someone else. But that doesn't mean you should stop doing your email marketing. It should not be a reflection on how well you did with your email marketing. Unless you're getting a lot of unsubscribes, then I would either think that you don't understand your audience's problem, you're not providing value, or something like that. But for the most part, everybody's going to get some unsubscribes. Another thing we hear from people is, can't I just use social media? Like, why do I have to use email marketing? Why can't I just use social media? So the reality behind this is that, you don't own Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or Instagram. You
Wish I
can't
did, though.
control, yeah, no kidding, me too. You can't control the algorithm or any of the changes that are made to the platform. So if they, like, what was it, like a year or two ago, Facebook changed the algorithm so that business pages could no longer get the visibility that they used to get. And it just completely changed things for businesses. Like, people who had been using that platform, they had to figure things out and do things a little differently. But with your email list, you own that list. You can email them. Even if MailChimp were to die and go away, you could go to ConvertKit or you could go somewhere else. That list you own. And those are qualified buyers if you build it right.
So, but does email marketing actually work? Well, it does, and there's lots of statistics out there. So, for every dollar you spend on email marketing, you get $42 back. Like, I don't think even my investments are doing that good in, my stocks and bonds. So, that's something to think about. Lead nurturing results in more sales. So people who you nurture on your list, they make 47% larger purchases. So they're actually buying more from you. Oh, that line got a bit wonky there. Not sure why.
Yeah.
It's crashing into the other line. Whatever. We'll edit it out post event. So with email marketing, you're actually getting 50% more sales ready leads at 33% lower cost. So companies that excel at this, they're getting people that are ready, more people that are ready to buy. If you never, 79% of marketing leads never convert to sales. And so a lack of lead nurturing is a common cause for poor performance. So lead nurturing motivates leads to buy. So they're expecting to hear from you. And the right clients are going to stay on your list and they won't unsubscribe.
Okay, so when you are building a nurture campaign, we're going to talk about exactly how you do that now, but you have to start with understanding what's your strategy. So the first thing is you have to know your audience. Who are they? What do you know about them? What age are they? What gender are they? Where do they live? What are the problems that they're facing? That's the biggest thing. Is what is the problem that they're facing and what's the solution that you provide? And then also you need to think about some kind of a freebie like we talked about earlier, whether that's like a downloadable PDF or a mini course or a webinar, something of value that you can provide to them in exchange for their email address.
Okay, these are some of the common mistakes we see when folks are trying to create their nurture campaigns. So having that box at the bottom of your website, excuse me, that says sign up for my newsletter. Well, that might have worked, 15 years ago, but nobody cares about newsletters anymore. They're dead, basically. And the reason why is because a newsletter is all about you. It's all about you sounding your trumpet, right? It's all about me, and it's not about the customer and creating value for them and creating that quick win for them. Another problem we see is only sending sales requests for sales, or hey, can I do this for you? Or hey, do you need a this or do you need a that? That gets annoying super fast. So that's a good way for people to be really looking for your unsubscribe button. Also, frequency and consistency. So if you're not, your clients should or customers should be expecting that you're going to do something every, so often, whether it's weekly, biweekly, monthly. You should keep that consistent and keep up with that frequency so they know what to expect and they know what's coming and they're anticipating it. If you're creating value for them, that is, they should be anticipating it. Again, talking all about yourself. So sending you know, like the Christmas newsletter that some families do, right? But for your business, right? Talking all about yourself, like that annoying guy at the party that you never want to see again because he just talked all about himself. And just not creating any value. That's what we call spam. If there's nothing in it for me, the client is always, or the customer is always looking at everything through their eyes, going, what's in it for me? So create something for them that they value and that they want to receive. Okay. So why are we doing this? Why are we sending out emails and what is the function of these campaigns? So commitment to buying your product or service takes time. And the nurture campaign is a way to build that trust, to get them having all those feel good feelings about you, um, presenting your knowledge to them, making you a trusted expert in their eyes. So, as we said before, most people aren't ready. It takes, I think, the statistic is always rising. So it's somewhere between 7 and 11 touch points that they have to hear from you. Some communications or seeing you on the web or on an advertisement takes about 11 of those to actually land a sale. So not everyone will read every email either that you send out. But just you showing up in their inbox, just that subject line and the name of your business that shows up in their inbox is enough of a reminder for you. So to stay connected to your customer, to stay top of mind when they do eventually need your services or your products, right? And creating that reciprocity. So it never ever hurts to be known as that generous company. It never hurts that you're giving away something of value, right? That again creates that feel good feeling for them. And then you're reminding them every time you're showing up in their inbox what problem it is you solve, and you're creating that value for them. And again, consistency and frequency is key here.
But won't I give away all my secrets? This is another common thing that we hear from people, that they spend a lot of time like building up their business and coming up with all the solutions that they provide. And so they're afraid, that's their secret sauce. They're afraid to give that away. They don't want to give away the secrets because they're afraid if they give it away, then people won't hire them to actually have them do the work. And the truth is, really, you can find anything you want for free on the internet these days. So you can get, a really amazing education in anything that you want for free on the internet. So don't be afraid to give away your secrets. If you are generous with your knowledge, all that does is position you as the expert. It just helps to build your credibility and your authority. So absolutely give it all away. I mean, there may be certain things that you want to hold back on, and maybe there's a price tag to it if you create like a course or something like that. But for the most part, don't be afraid to share your knowledge. Like we said earlier, 97% of prospects are not ready to buy right now. So that's why building a nurture campaign is so important. And on average, it takes about 10 marketing touches before they become aware of your company and they're ready to convert into a paying customer. So that's why it's important that you have to stay in front of them. And you can't rely on social media to do it. The algorithms have changed. This is one opportunity. It could be part social media, it could be part email, it also could be remarketing ads. There's a bunch of different ways you can continue to stay in front of people. But the important thing is you have to keep your name out there. Otherwise, people will forget that you exist.
Mhm. And they'll remember that your competitor exists if they're doing this.
Right. That's a good point. Definitely. And the other thing, the nice thing about email marketing is that you are showing up in the
Mm.
thing that people take with them everywhere they go. On average, people check their phones 96 times a day. If you can get in somebody's email inbox on their phone that they have with them 24/7, you're staying in front of them. And so that's important to remember.
Mhm. Okay, but what do I write about? Oh my goodness, I'm not a writer. I don't know. I've never done this before. It's overwhelming. I get it, but we have some ideas for you. It doesn't have to be difficult. So the types of campaigns that you can do, there's tips and tricks. There's knowledge that you have stored tucked away up there that would be valuable. It's like common sense to you because you do it every day, but to somebody else, they might not know this stuff. And so sharing some of that and breaking it down for them, how to's. Um, I talk about with clients, talk about your uncommon denominator. So what is it? How is it that you uniquely serve them and their problem that they're having, and how do the two intersect? So it's what you do uniquely, what their problem is, and how do those two things intersect? What is the story there about how you can serve them in that unique fashion? You might have an announcement, you might be hosting an event or part of some kind of promotion or something like that. That's what you can send something about that. Products and services. There might be something new that you wanted to announce or show off, or um, maybe it's not even a new service. Maybe it's just letting them know, hey, I'm not sure if you know about everything that we do, but here's something else that we do, right? And how it benefits them. So always keep that in mind. Try and keep it focused on them and how it answers the question, what's in it for me from the client's perspective. If there's a success story, someone you've helped that they can identify with, they can see themselves in the story, present that to them, and then present them with how you can help them if they're having the same problem. If there's common mistakes that you see that people are making in your industry when you're working with clients, you can outline some of those. If you have FAQs, it's a great time to answer some of those, sort of prepping people who will be ready to buy from you down the road. If behind the scenes, everyone likes to know how the sausage is made, right? So, um, invite them in to, if you have a store, invite them in to how you do stuff or your process. If you're like a logo designer, show your sketches, and people are super interested in that. They kind of want to see like behind the scenes, behind the curtain. If you have some sale or some promotional offer, go ahead and do that. I mean, it's not um, a no to do that. It's just you don't always want to be doing that every single time. If you have some common objections that you hear, and then showing how you help people overcome those objections to what it is you do. You can present that as a story or something like that. If you have a testimonial that's really somebody's raving about your services or your product, you can write about that. So there's lots of things, and this is not an exhaustive list. There's lots you can write about. The idea is give them value, what's in it for them, and mix it up. And don't always have it be the same thing over and over again. So the email structure. So it's really important because everyone is crunched for time that you want to be able to capture people's attention and have them open the email, or most people open the email, right? So the first thing you want to do is have a punchy subject line. And we'll show you some of those later, like examples of those. But something that captures their attention, sparks curiosity, opens a story loop, really, like, oh, what is he talking about? Or, oh, I'm curious as to what he means by that, or something like that. So create curiosity or suspense. In the short description that shows up in your email, type up how you're solving a problem, right? State the problem, and then also how you're solving the problem in the body of the email. And PSs are actually a great way if you need to help something stand out or call attention to something. The eye really gets drawn to a PS. More often than not, people, even if they skip over most of the email in the body, they'll always read the PS. So if there's something super important, a call to action or something like that, or an offer, put it in the PS, and it will be less likely to get missed or looked over.
So next we want to show you like a bird's eye view of a campaign example. So whenever we're building an email marketing campaign or any kind of marketing campaign for a client, we like to build it visually first so that we can get an idea, how are we getting traffic to the website? What is it that we're exchanging for an email address? As you can see, let's see, can you see my mouse? Yeah, so and this is an example of a real client of ours. We're using Google Ads for this gal named Cindy to bring traffic to her website. And so we have a landing page set up on her website that's talking about the service that she provides. And when they're on the landing page, they can download an ebook. So once they've downloaded the ebook, then they get the sequence of emails. So first we deliver the PDF ebook. Then we do an introduction email. There's a client success story, and these on here say TBD. But if you don't know, what you're going to say exactly, it's okay to start out there and fill it in later. And then, the last one is schedule a consult. So having that like bird's eye view and a visual idea of what you're doing just kind of can really help to kind of help you visualize what the campaign looks like and what the series of steps that your audience is going to go through, to do business with you. You got to keep staying in front of them. We also have on here Google retargeting ads and Facebook retargeting ads. So because whoever goes to this landing page, they'll now be showed these other ads because of the cookies and the way that we set up the retargeting. So that's a good way to stay in front of people. So when you're spending all that money on Google ads, if you don't capture those leads, they're going to forget about you and your money is just going to be wasted. Okay, so we also want to talk a little bit about campaign segmentation. So basically what this is you want to make sure that whatever you're sending to your audience is appropriate for whatever they're interested in. So maybe they showed interest, in one thing and not something else. And so you want to kind of just lead them down the right path. And I'm going to show you an example of what we've done with the client Cindy on the next slide below. But you can do this in your email marketing campaign through tagging, your email marketing platform through tagging. So you can tag your audiences. And we do this for these webinars that we hold. So every time we have one of these weekly webinars, we have a different tag set up. So if you sign up, you get automatically added to that tag so that we make sure that if there's any, follow-up emails or anything like that, that you're going to get those follow-up emails and not our entire list. There's different campaign paths that you're going to want your clients to go through, just depending on what they showed interest in, what they signed up for, where they're at in the process. Are they a prospect still? Are they a client? So there's different ways that you're going to want to touch people. You don't want to be sending somebody emails that are not relevant to them. So the whole idea is to stay relevant to what their needs are. And also, campaign segmentation can also help you assess if someone is ready for you to make a warm sales call. If somebody is opening all your emails, they seem very interested. You could, follow that up with a sales call of some sort. All right, so here's the example I was telling you was coming. It's a lot to look at.
Just
So
go over it
hopefully you.
briefly. I think we only have a few more minutes, but
No, I
just
wasn't
kind
going to go into it in a lot of detail.
yeah,
It's just,
yeah.
you just can't read it because there's so much
No.
going on here. But basically, we set this up for our client, Cindy. We basically showed you this campaign earlier. This is just the email behind it, but we segmented her email campaign based on what the user did. So if they downloaded the ebook, they're going to get this series of emails. If they booked a consultation, they're going to get this series of emails. And a lot of the emails are the same. Like you can repurpose content, but you need to tweak it so that it's appropriate for whatever action it is they took. And then when somebody becomes a client, we have a completely different email series that we walk them through. So we ask them for a testimonial. There's a follow-up interview. We ask for a client success story. We teach them how to stay compliant with the service that she provides. And then we provide like more entrepreneur type tips. So this makes it relevant. You don't want to be sending information to somebody who doesn't understand why they got an email. It just doesn't make sense to them. So you really want to segment your lists. And then I say don't overthink it after I just showed you something very complex. If you are a product company and you have beautiful photos, people love to look at beautiful photos of whatever you sell. If they like what it is that you sell, I heard an example once of this truck company. They sell big trucks that with big tires, and they're all fancy and customized. Guys that sign up for that list, or girls, or gals, I should say, they don't need a lot of detail. They don't need a lot of words. They just want to see pictures of really cool trucks. If you sell diamond engagement rings, you have beautiful photos, and you have brides out there who are, want that beautiful diamond that they're going to be wearing for the rest of their lives. They want to be inspired. They want to see those photos. So don't overthink it. As long as you are providing value and thinking through your strategy, you'll learn from your mistakes as well. But there's a lot of simple emails that you can put out there.
Okay, some email campaign examples of ones that we receive and that we're subscribed to. So there's different mediums too. So you can embed a video in an email, just make it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more, personal, interactive. So this one is for a membership, and she's just doing a quick video saying hey and introducing herself to this. I'm part of this no tribe. It's a tribe of women, or community of women. I think they changed the name. But it's entrepreneurs and it's all female. And she is presenting us with this option of joining this, get a 3-month access for free to try this new portal that she's created for us. So what I like about it is there's an image, it's large, it's an inviting picture of her smiling. makes me want to click on it and see what she has to say. And then all the pertinent things that she wants me to click on are highlighted in pink and underlined. So it's easy for me to find that. And the message is super short. And interject whatever you want to
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer. This is, I'm trying to read the subject line on this one.
When
Let's see.
anxiety strikes at work.
So that kind of that opens a story loop in your mind. Like, oh, yeah, sometimes that happens to me. So now I'm anxious if I don't read this. Like, what can you help me solve here? Like, that's a problem that some people have, right? So it's going to make you open it. And they're introducing a podcast. So if you do a podcast, this is another touch point you could present possibly to your list. So really nice picture. Should you really keep your emotions out of the workplace? Ooh, that's, kind of a controversial topic. I might want to listen to that. So it's giving you some calls to action. Listen on Apple or Spotify. And that's a good one too. Again,
I like
providing you
how
with some.
those buttons are, oh, sorry to interrupt. I like how those buttons are very visual.
Yeah.
They've got the icons on there, which are really recognizable. They really stand out as
It's
something
not
to
just
click
a
on.
text link. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how the text, it's just a short paragraph. It's
Mhm.
totally, sometimes people can write emails that are super long, and there is a time and a place for that. But I also think that there's, you have to balance that out with
Right. And
some shorter methods.
if you're already presenting them with a 30 to 45-minute podcast anyway, there's not much you really want to say. You would just want them to listen to it. So keep it brief and get them to listen to the episode if that's what you want them to do. Okay. So if, like we said before, if you have beautiful products, this is Wayfair, and I stay subscribed to them because I want to see what's going on. It's like furniture porn, right? And they have just a kind of a cheesy subject line: Halloween sale open for scary good deals. Haha, right? But at least I know what it's about, right? If I'm looking for Halloween decor this Halloween season, then yeah, I'm going to open that email and have a look at what they have to offer. So don't overthink it. Okay. This is a copywriter. I think he does a really good job. Obviously, he's a copywriter. The subject line is what really got me to open this. That time I was 25 minutes late for $15,000 dinner. Whoa. Well, I want to hear that story. So he goes into it and explains, and he has a little video. And the call to action is at the bottom. Click here to learn how I got to the restaurant and why I'll never take a taxi again. Well, that's opening a story loop. That's making me curious and I want to know. And he wants me to read his blog. So that's what he wants me to do with this email. So it's very curiosity inducing, and it got me to click on it and look at it and read it.
And I like how simple it is too. It's
Mhm.
not a lot of text. If
And
you
it's
do
not a
want to
lot of
read more,
industry
then you'll click
jargon
through.
too. It's not That's the other
Yeah.
thing. You use street language, like use talk that everyone knows what you're talking about. That's another mistake
hmm
that entrepreneurs make.
And another thing I wanted to point out is, he uses your first name in here, so
You
personalizing it.
personalize it, exactly. I think we have one more example. Yeah, so this is the email that you get from cap hunters once they fulfill your order. And I just wanted to show this because the way it's written is hilarious. So don't be afraid to infuse your personality. And I'm just going to read a little bit about this. So they sell like ball caps. So, hey, hello, Jay. Somebody else sent this to me. We delicately removed your order from our shelves and, wearing silk gloves, placed it on a red velvet cushion. A team of 10 employees inspected your order to ensure that it was in the best condition and that it complied with the most stringent standards of quality before shipping. And they go on like that, right? So don't be afraid to just show your brand and show. I mean, there's a reason that your clients and your customers fell in love with your brand. So don't be afraid to be yourself in your campaigns either. It's more authentic. I
All
think that's all.
right. So that wraps it up for our email nurturing presentation today. And we just wanted to finalize this by saying we have this 90-minute brainstorm whiteboarding session available to anybody who has watched our Facebook Lives. If you are having any challenges, if you need help with your email nurture campaign, or you need help with your website or your branding or anything like that, you're kind of DIYing it, but you need an outside perspective, you can buy a 90-minute time slot with Angela and I, and for $2.99, and we'll get on a Zoom call with you, and we have a form that we'll have you fill out ahead of time, so we can figure out what it is that you want to talk about, and if we need to research before we get on, and be prepared so that we can help you figure out the solutions to whatever problem you're facing. Just go to coalitionwebdesign.com/brandstorm, and we would be happy to help. You can sign up right there, find a time on our calendars, and everything like that. So thank you for joining us today. We do have some new topics coming up in the future. Next week, we're going to do something new. We're going to be doing on-air coaching. So we have somebody who has asked to be a part of that. They want our opinion on something, which we will reveal later. But we are going to be talking to them about their business and their specific problem. And I hope you guys tune in. After that, we're going to talk about 7 tips to fix your website messaging, and on-air coaching again. And then November 5th, we have 10 branding mistakes you're making on your website. So we hope that you will join us every week. We have bumped the time up to the afternoon. Today we started at 2 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Mountain. So we will be doing that for the next month to see how that time slot works. We're marketers, we're always testing things out. So that's why we're changing the time slot to see what kind of participation we get. So hope you can join us, and we will talk to you later.
See you guys next time. Bye.